Welcome to InfoHub. In our headlines, contract signed to complete Kitty Market rehabilitation. East Coast Demerara drainage pumps to be completed in time for May-June rains. Public Health Ministry starts outreaches to indigenous communities. And City Hall will grade your house once it's used for lodging. Stay tuned for the details of these and more. Daddy! And now for the details. The Communities Ministry has signed a $25 million contract with B&L Architects and Engineering to complete rehabilitation of the Kitty Market. Stacey Carmichael has the details.
Minister of Communities Ronald Bulkan said the over $25 million contract will see the construction of 15 external and 10 internal stalls, completion of the sanitary block and an office for the market clerk. The market's rehabilitation started in 2016 by the Mayor and City Council, MNCC, but was delayed after the council experienced constraints. Central government stepped in providing the MNCC with $200 million in the 2018 national budget, of which $50 million has been dedicated by the council for works on the Kitty Market.
We are pleased here this afternoon to be in a position to award this contract to the successful bidder and to the representative of BML Architects to allow for this project to go forward, and as I said, to allow for occupation and use by this market by our vendors.
Town Clerk Royston King said this is a demonstration of government's commitment to the MNCC's efforts to sustainably develop the capital city.
We're very grateful to the government, and we know that stallholders as well as residents of Kitty community will be very happy with this latest development.
B&L Architects and Engineers is owned and operated by Baynard Lord. Only recently, vendors protested a long wait for the completion of the market. The MNCC is hoping for a March 2018 completion. For InfoHub, Stacey Carmichael.
East Coast Demerara drainage pumps to be completed in time for the May-June rains. Here's that report. Head of the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority, NDIA, Frederick Flats, says the new pump stations at Enmore, Friendship and Lusignan are in an advanced state of completion.
These structures are almost complete. For example, the one at Lusignan is already operable. We had to go ahead and get the pump started during the rainy periods around Christmas. So there's still some fine things to be done, but it's substantially complete. So those are 3 pump stations that have been completed along the East Coast, or sorry, not completed, substantially completed along the East Coast.
In addition, Flats explains that the pumps will increase drainage capacity and prevent flooding in East Coast Demerara communities.
The problem we have along the coast is that historically our drainage coefficient has just been like 1.5 inches in 24 hours. So whenever the rainfall exceeded that amount, you would have flooding. When we supplement the gravity drainage with pump drainage, we were able to raise that figure significantly.
Further, Flats said the completion of the pump station at Friendship Vigilance will bring major relief to Buxton and its environs.
We're seeking to have that pump station completed in time for the May-June rains. As you may be aware, Buxton is one of the areas where we almost always have flooding as long as we're going through the rainy season. We're hoping that for the first time in decades, Buxton will not be flooded if our pump station is completed.
In an effort to provide the best medical services to residents of hinterland regions, the Ministry of Public Health has taken an initiative to focus on those communities for the year 2018. On Sunday, Public Health Minister Valda Lawrence and a team began with a visit to Paramakatoy and Cato in Region 8. Alexis Rodney has this story.
Region 8 is the first on the list of indigenous communities the Public Health Ministry plans to reach out to this year. The others are Regions 1, 7 and 9. The Health Minister said for too long her ministry has been hearing of works being done in these communities. However, residents on the ground have different stories to tell.
We decided that we are going to be coming out to all of these regions, and not only just coming out to the regions, as minister, but coming out to these regions to ensure that the services that we said that we're going to provide, that they're being provided.
Minister Lawrence speaking to Paramakatoy residents. Her visit to the health center there revealed a number of challenges, including staff shortages, insufficient drugs, and poor infrastructure, all issues the health minister promised will be addressed in the shortest possible time. Over in Cato, the very problems that exist at Paramakatoy are being experienced at the Cottage Hospital there. The institution is in need of a full-time doctor, a lab technologist, and a midwife, among other staff.
We have received the second largest portion of the budget for this year in the Ministry of Public Health. And having received that, we are not planning to sit on our laurels in Georgetown and believe that everything is hunky-dory and well and good with you.
Minister Lawrence told both communities that her ministry will work at its best to offer to them the services residents on the coastline receive. The health minister also distributed a wide range of pharmaceuticals to both health institutions, but that was not before she visited the worship service of the Paramakatoy Wesleyan Church. Alexis Rodney for InfoHub.
Seneca Thorne now tells us that the Hinterland Employment and Youth Service Hayes venture will be replaced with a more intense program aimed at targeting more youths countrywide.
This is according to Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs Sidney Allicock. He explained that the current HACE program is successful. However, it will be restructured through collaboration between the Ministries of Education and Cohesion to create a more holistic training package for youth throughout Guyana.
While it is a good program, we also have other youth programs across different, we have more than HACE. We are in discussion with the Ministry of Social Cohesion and the Ministry of Education of how we could harness and put our best foot forward in doing a program that is going to be, I think, more beneficial with the finances that we have, focus more on more aggressive sort of training.
The Ministry of Education is tasked with developing a paper for the new program. Minister Allicock added that the Green Enterprise Development Center that will be established at Bena Hill Region 9 will further prepare Indigenous youths for the anticipated developments expected to accrue from the oil sector.
In preparation for the anticipated good of what oil will bring, not the direct but indirect benefit that when the roads start, when the hydros start, we need our technical people there, and this is the workforce that you need. So it is helping them to prepare and get in readiness for this, and so their communities would have that economic strength to keep them through creation of your own jobs.
Some 1,872 Indigenous youth will receive training through the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs in a number of skilled areas. Another 1,958 are nearing the end of their training, making it a total of 3,830 trained over the past 2 years. Seneca Thorne for InfoHub.
Access to finance for small businesses will now be less restrictive with the implementation of the new $100 million revolving fund project.
Minister of Business Dominic Gasking said the project will be executed by the ministry's semi-autonomous agency, the Small Business Bureau. The SBB currently invests in low-carbon sectors to support the government's strategy to reduce carbon emissions.
The problem is that it's restrictive, and we have found that many small businesses that would have liked to access that program or financing through that program were not allowed to do so because of, it was very specific, the terms of reference.
Gaskin explained the new initiative with its open term of reference policy will differ from the ongoing access to finance program.
This $100 million revolving fund has no restrictions in terms of what type of businesses can access it.
The $100 million revolving fund also aims to provide small loans to persons leaving the sugar industry who want to launch individual business activities. Crystal Stahl for InfoHub.
The aviation sector is now expanded following the certification of Domestic Airways Incorporated. Here are the details from Renetta LaFleur.
The certification process, which began in November 2016, is one of the most important requirements in the International Civil Aviation Organization oversight system. GCAA's Director General, Lieutenant Colonel Retired Egbert Field.
Before an operator can operate for profit and hire, or profit and reward, he is expected to display and to show that his operation has all the components required by ICAO, and that you can ably and also safely conduct the operation as stated by ICAO.
Prior to the certification, Domestic Airways Inc. operated privately. Captain for the airline service Orlando Charles is grateful that the airways can now operate publicly as well.
So we've been using our airplane for private, not for the public or for monetary gain by companies or charters. With the conclusion of this, the application process and the certification, we are now eligible for charters from individuals or companies.
Domestic Airways Inc. has been in operation for some 3 years now. Renetta LaFleur for InfoHub.
Here's our final report. All lodging houses in Georgetown will now have to undergo a stringent grading system by the mayor and city council if they are to remain in operation. Here is this report.
This was disclosed by the MNCC during a press conference held last Friday. It was highlighted by Chief Environmental Health Officer Carl Bay that lodging houses were previously registered without being graded.
This year, we now have a grading system in terms of A, grade B, and C. And the grading will be determined by the basic public health requirement within 2801. There are some requirements for lodging houses that are in 2801. Location of these hotels, as well as the franchise base. That will determine whether it will be a grade A, B, or C.
According to Bay, hotel owners will be brought before the court should they fail to reach the necessary requirements. He explained that non-adherence following the receipt of a notice can result in closure of the lodging house. Town Clerk Royston King said the implementation of the grading system is as a result of the volume of complaints received by the council regarding lodging houses in the city.
We are continuing to receive reports of hotel owners operating ramshackle places without proper sanitary conveniences. In one case, the owner has only plastic water bowls with water for guests to wash their hands after they have concluded their activities. Some have smelly, torn mattresses, while others have floorings, walls, and roofs with gaping holes accommodating termites, rats, and roaches.
The names and grades for all lodging houses will be published in the media. King said that such actions are necessary for the protection of all citizens and individuals who use those businesses. For InfoHub, Tiffany Rogers.
Thanks for watching. Remember, you can connect with us 24/7 on our website and social media. Goodbye.